Welcome, welcome each and every one of us to this time of worship, this live Zoom opportunity to grow and to deepen together. We light our chalice today, this flame of common purpose, for the light of hope, for the fire of commitment, and for the warmth of community that has not dimmed and does not dim, not even in the midst of great chaos. We bring the light, the hope, and the warmth to one another today and every day.
Hello. Good morning and welcome to River Road Unitarian Universalist Congregation. I'm Reverend Amanda Weatherspoon, your Associate Minister. To all of those joining us this morning here on our live Zoom feed, welcome. Welcome to each one of you. Welcome to those of you who may be listening later on YouTube or to the podcast. This is a community of community service and spirit, where we do bring the fullness of who we are. If you're new with our community this morning and you'd like to get more information, please reach out to us after this service at membership@rruuc.org if you'd like to connect and discuss more. This month of December, the theme is stillness. It was around this time last year that Mandy Kelly and I would be storming through the sanctuary, finding every candle we could, lighting and preparing a space for the winter solstice. It was this time of year that we would be gathering together to honor the darkness and to call in the light. This year, we are preparing that space within each of ourselves. And that's what ritual is about, preparing a space to let it enter in. And the stillness that we have in our hearts and the stillness that nature provides us allows us to be fully in this time of solstice, to reflect, to remember. Throughout the service, you'll be invited to participate in different ways. If you want to grab a pen or paper or pencil, or just know that in your heart, you're being asked to reflect, maybe a noisemaker, maybe a candle. This is a time to draw into community as the end of this year draws near. As always, time after time, solstice after solstice, we gather again to say, come, let us worship together.
Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in one strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near. Gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the mystery of the hour, gathered here in the strong body, gathered here in the struggle and the power, Spirit draw near.
Good morning. I'm Beth Iroquois, religious educator for youth. Many traditions, including pagan and Native American, start their solstice ceremonies and celebrations with a circle casting. It serves a couple purposes. It sets apart our time together as sacred and our space, even our virtual space, as sacred. It's a time to honor the gifts of the earth. So the elements associated with each of the cardinal directions, east, south, west, and north, are honored. This morning, you can participate in our circle casting. We're going to start with the east and move clockwise. If you know where east is relative to where you are, you may stand and face that direction or send your attention in that direction. If you don't know, you can just ask your favorite device. You'll also need something to make a noise, either some sort of jingle bells or even those keys that you haven't used in a very long time. They will be great, or you can just clap or make noise in whichever celebratory way you'd like. Each reader will light a candle, tell us the gifts of their direction, and end with hail and welcome. In response, you may stand and turn towards that direction or send your attention to that direction, repeat hail and welcome, and then make some joyful noise. Now let us set our sacred space with joyful noise. Here we go.
honor air represented by the east. We appreciate the air we breathe through a mask.
We are grateful for the air in our house and the fresh, crisp air outside.
We enjoy the extra time to watch the birds of the air.
Hail and welcome.
We honor fire, represented by the South. We appreciate the fire of all the extra holiday lights this year with their intention to chase away the darkness. We acknowledge the fiery energy for our devices that keep us connected. We are grateful for the warm hearth of our homes. Hail and welcome.
We honor water represented by the West. We appreciate the water we use to wash our hands.
We are thankful for water used to keep our family's dishes clean while eating so much at home. We are grateful for the beauty of snow days. Hail and welcome.
We honor the earth represented by the North. We appreciate the earth holding our homes, which hold us so much more these days. We enjoy the ground where we go to run, walk, garden, play, or just sit. We are grateful for the bounties of the earth that continue to sustain us in pandemic times. Hail and welcome.
For the air, the fire, the water and the earth, for the noise and the silence, for the darkness and the light, for everything that gives way to something new, and for this great turning in which we find ourselves well met with deep gratitude. There's so much that we share in beloved community. So much work and hope and worry and celebration. There are a few highlights in our announcements that I want to just lift up for us today. First of all, it is the bright season. It is the season of hope. This very day, the Sunday before Christmas, when we would historically gather for our pageant, when we would be bustling and hustling each in turn with all the anxiety and the magic of that moment. We know that we gather still in worship and in celebration, just as we do today. And we will gather at 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve to kindle the lights that we have kindled for generations. I invite you for our Christmas Eve service, which will be live right here on Zoom, to check your email. Later in the week, you will get a link for that service. Please join us. Please bring a candle and your waiting self for all that the season might bring to light for you. We're also grateful that next Sunday, the 27th, we will be joined in worship by the amazing musical talents of Emma's Revolution. Sandy and Pat, longtime friends of mine and amazing troubadours of our liberal religious tradition and beyond, have great gifts to share with us. Our service, Swimming to the Other Side, will help us navigate just what it takes to come through this ocean in which we find ourselves so often treading water. In the midst of it all, we continue to encourage your generosity, your presence, and your grace. As our joys and concerns, we want to begin by lifting up the great joy that Reverend Amanda shares with us, that our Better Angels gift drive was such an enormous success last week. We collected $3,000 worth of gift cards for our partners at To Be Well Fed, which will go directly to families in the DC public schools. Over 200 gifts for children and families at Beacon House and La Clínica del Pueblo, and 1,600 pounds of food. This is what it takes to show up in these our days. Reverend Amanda lifts up deep gratitude to Mandy Kelly, to all those who made it possible, and to each and every one of you. Our generosity will be called for once again in the hard days and cold nights, and I hope that we will dig deep once again when that time comes. We also lift up today all of our healthcare workers, all those heroes working and fighting every single day to keep us alive and help us to thrive, for every single vaccine shot that goes in every single arm, for every glimmer of hope. We are grateful. And we lift up our own beloved River Road staff member, Luz Ugarte, who is recovering with grace and with her family with a COVID-19 diagnosis. For Luz and for all of us who are hurting and who are hoping and who are fighting to make a way through. We are grateful and we are sad and we are committed. Amen.
Today's reading is Winter's Cloak. This year, I do not want the dark to leave me. I need its wrap of silent stillness, its cloak of long-lasting embrace. Too much light has pulled me away from the chamber of gestation. Let the dawns come late. Let the sunsets arrive early. Let the evenings extend themselves while I lean into the abyss of my being. Let me lie in the cave of my soul. For too much light obscures my sight, stills the source of revelation. Let me seek solace in the empty places of winter's passage, those vast dark nights that never fail to shelter me. May it be so.
When it's late December, dark and cold, where is the light? When old man year is bending low, where is the light? When the sun runs off to bed too soon, where is the light? And there's nothing but a skinny moon, where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. When it's dark each morning when I rise, where is the light? And it's dark out when my eggs are fried. Where is the light? When it's dark when off to work I go, where is the light? And it's dark again when I get home. Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Where is the light? Where is the light? Where is the light? Oh, the light's inside of me. Yes, it's in my skin, it's in my bones, in my heart, in my soul. The light of life is bright and golden like a summer's day. When the sun goes missing in the sky, it's still rising in my eyes, chasing all that winter gloom away. So I'm burning bright like kerosene. Where is the light? And I'm twinkling like the Pleiades. Where is the light? And I'm dancing like a candle flame. Where is the light? I'm flaming like a fruit flambe. Where is the light? I gotta know now. Where is the light? Where is the light? This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
What do we do when we can't find the light? What do we do when the world is most desperately in need of that light? We shine it ourselves. We find a way to illumine every corner of the chaos with our work and our hope. And part of the way we do that here at River Road is by giving every single thing we can, our time, our talent, and yes, our treasure to this place, to keep the walls standing and the lights on when we come back, and to this place so that it may be an inflection point to be of better service in the world. And so in this time of giving, I invite you, as you are able and when you can, to give of your many gifts for the work of this, our beloved congregation.
I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. I'm listening. I am listening. Spirit, speak to me. My hands are wide open, eyes are wide open to see what I may be. I'm listening. I am listening. can hear the voices of all my kin singing, speaking, howling. We're all calling into the wind. My hands are wide open, and oh, the joy. Eyes are wide open. Oh, love to see that's I for you and me. Oh, in this moment of silence, I hear it speak to me.
And what do we do when we are met by a beautiful darkness? What do we do when we encounter the confluence of planets? What do we do when impossible beauty greets us in the blanket of the night? We meet it with full hearts. We meet it with a readiness for its wonders. I invite you, as we prepare for the next part of our service, to find a pen, a piece of paper, or even a quiet place inside your own heart for reflections that you might find in the words that we share and in the questions that we'll ask. Our reading for this first time of reflection from Jan Richardson. All throughout these months, as the shadows have lengthened, this blessing has been gathering itself, making ready, preparing for this night. It has practiced its blessing, waiting in the dark, traveling with its eyes closed, feeling its way by memory and by touch, by the pull of the moon, even as it wanes. So believe me when I tell you, this blessing will reach you, even if you have not light enough to read it. It will find you, even though you cannot see it coming. In our time of meditation, while the music plays, we invite you to sit with, to reflect on these questions. What are the moments of anticipation? What is finding you in the dark if you have but the patience and the grace to wait on it? What are you sitting with this season?
Here we are once more at another winter solstice. And this year, I can't stop reflecting on last year's solstice time. I remember walking through the grounds at River Road the day of and the day before, gathering things in the wood for our service, finding the Yule log, finding holly and ivy, finding leaves that we could burn so that we could do our ritual of letting go. Last year's theme was honoring the dark and calling in the light. And we explored what it meant to find the beauty in the darkness, what it meant to turn the narrative that darkness is bad, to be avoided, something evil, to turn that narrative around and to explore the ways that darkness actually holds us and can be a place of rebirth. I always love those kinds of subversive ideas, ways that we as people of faith can take the mundane and to make it sacred, the ways that we can take cultural narratives and find our own meaning and truth within them. And this is why I love the winter solstice so much, because it gives us a space to make that mundane into sacred through reflection, through setting intentions, through calling in light, through honoring the dark. And this year, a variation on that theme for me became to sit with the darkness. Oftentimes, when I preach or I'm asked to write something, my focus tends to be on possibility and potential. My focus tends to be on what this can do for us in the future, how we can have the grace with ourselves to get ourselves through this moment into something this moment is delivering to us. So my challenge for myself this year for the solstice was to actually sit with discomfort in the darkness, because this is the kind of a year where it's really hard to find the beauty in the darkness, as we've asked ourselves to do before. There's not one of us who haven't struggled. There's not one of us who haven't lost people. This is a hard year, and we can't necessarily find the beauty, and we can't always talk about hope, but maybe we can give ourselves grace to be where we are. Sometimes releasing what is covering us, sometimes letting go isn't so much about letting go what doesn't work for us anymore or what doesn't serve us, but letting go of what's getting in the way of being present with this time. What's getting in the way of honoring the struggles that we've gone through. This is a time of reflection, and this is going to be a harder year for that. Some of us can't be with the people we love. Some of us can't revisit the traditions of previous years. We can't all be together like we have been. But we can reflect on where that's leading us in this moment. Not because it's going to get us to some other place, but because there's something powerful in being with this in this moment together. In these new ways, in these old ways, there's something transformative about what we are allowing ourselves to sit with. There's something transformative about letting go of those obstacles that keep us waiting and hoping and wishing, that keep us from this present moment. So in a few moments, I'm going to invite you into the ritual of letting go. And I invite you to reflect on what you can let go in your life in this moment that will allow you to be in this moment, to sit with the struggle, to sit with the heartache, to be in this world that is unpredictable and chaotic, as well as beautiful. And we know that transformation will happen. We know that hope is there. We know that we are changing and transforming. This year, we don't have to worry so much about finding beauty and about finding hope. We don't have to worry about things getting better. We know that things will. In this time, in this place, maybe we give ourselves grace to be in the darkness. So the ritual of letting go, you can write down what you wish to release. You can write it down in your heart. You can maybe safely, if you have a way to safely burn that piece of paper, you can do that. Or you can cut it up, or you can fold it up. You can flush it away, you can throw it away, or you can just let it be. But in this moment of reflection and stillness, we find the spaces in our hearts that we are ready to prepare a place for ourselves, to welcome ourselves home by releasing, and therefore by honoring ourselves and finding that inevitable beauty in the darkness. Please reflect with me.
It is a common practice across cultures and across the world to sit by candlelight and make wishes, to speak aloud or hold in our hearts our hopes for the new year or for what may come. But as my papa used to say, if hopes and wishes were loaves and fishes, we would all have our bellies full. And we know that they are not. That the wishes we might speak in our hearts when we blow out the candles on the birthday cake, that the great hopes we might stream out to the universe do not translate naturally into action. No, there is another element required for that glorious transmutation. It is the element of intent. And we move now to our ritual of setting our intent for the year ahead, for the yearning ahead. Aware that an intent is not just another wish for what may happen. It is not just another hope for what other people might do. An intention is a claim of our own agency. It is a setting of our own sights toward not only what we can do, but who we can be. An intention is a claim of our own transformation. And so as we set our intentions this year in a time when agency seems so far away, when so much seems outside of our control, we invite you to ask, what is it that you intend to dream and to do with the days that are given us and the nights that stretch out before us? We speak our hopes and are held by each other. We are strengthened and empowered. By sharing your intention, by giving it life in action, you give your neighbor a chance to hear. By listening, you allow your neighbor the chance to be heard. As the music plays, you're invited to use the chat box to name your most profound intentions for the year ahead.
Now that we've cycled through our shared rituals, we know that we've taken a journey of anticipation, reflection, release, affirmation, and calling in intentions. We hold these rituals in our hearts, knowing that a ritual is simply making the mundane sacred. It's simply a way to prepare space in your heart for what is and for what could be. We move into our time of calling in the light together. We move into our time of speaking this together as a gathered people, as Nancy and I share the final reading. You're invited to join me in the refrain, "The light is reborn." Those of you who have joined us in the in-person solstice service of last year and the year before, you might find this familiar. While your mics may be muted, you can join in where you're at or in your heart. I will be the one saying the light is reborn, while Nancy will share the words that surround that central truth. And even as we know the light is being reborn, we know that it is being reborn from within the darkness. We don't get to escape either, but we can respect and nourish both. Won't you join me, Reverend Nancy, in the light is reborn?
In the greatest darkness,
the light is reborn.
Out of winter's cold,
the light is reborn.
From our deepest fears,
the light is reborn.
When we most despair,
the light is reborn.
When all seems lost,
the light is reborn.
When the earth lies waste,
the light is reborn.
When animals hide,
the light is reborn.
When the leaves are gone,
the light is reborn.
When the river is frozen,
the light is reborn.
When the ground is hard,
the light is reborn.
When shadows are fleeing,
the light is reborn.
Light is returning.
The light is reborn.
Warmth will come again.
The light is reborn.
Summer will be here once more.
The light is reborn.
Plants will grow again.
The light is reborn.
Animals will appear once more.
The light is reborn.
Life will continue.
The light is reborn. As we move into this sacred time, into our lives, into the world, we do this knowing that the light is kindled in our hearts always, and that the darkness holds that kindling, that we are always welcome and invited to make the mundane sacred and to walk this world with a heart weaving of joy and sorrow, light and darkness, and that we are moving into transformation with every moment of our lives. We hold so much gratitude for those that made this service possible, for the readers of our 4 directions, the families that gave up their time and their effort to gather themselves together to share those readings, for Lea Morris and her beautiful music, for Cliff Harden and his accompaniment, and for each one of you helping to make this solstice happen in each of our hearts every year, knowing that we will reflect on this as nothing but special, as nothing but sacred. Because we know when we have our solstice next year in 2021, and we think about this 2020 solstice, we will know that we have made it and that we stayed with it and that we are here to reflect once more. May it ever be so. Blessed be.
Peace be with me, peace before me, peace to the right of me, peace behind me, peace to the left of me, peace above me, peace below me, peace within, peace be with you, peace before you, peace to the right of you, peace behind you, peace to the left of you, peace above you, peace below you, peace within, peace be with us, peace before us, peace to the right of us, peace behind us, peace to the left of us, peace above us, peace below us, peace within. Peace be with us, peace before us, peace to the right of us, peace behind us, peace to the left of us, peace above us, peace below us, peace within, peace within, peace within, peace within.
Amen and amen. Grateful to all of you for this time together, to Amanda for weaving it as she does. Jesse will move us into breakout rooms here shortly. What a blessing it is to be together.